started on the Mustang build today. First things first, I need to get these heads checked. This dude that I bought them from pulled them off an Explorer at the junkyard, so they're GT40Ps. You can tell that by the way the spark plugs are angled. But I don't know anything about them. I don't know if they're any good or not. I know I would need different valve springs for my application, so I'm going to take them to the machine shop and they're going to check them, and then if they're all good, we're going to order some valve springs. So just getting the ball rolling on this thing. Alright, just got the heads dropped off at this machine shop out in the middle of nowhere, but the guy was really nice and it was highly rated, so I feel good about it. So that's it for now. So spent a little bit of time today cleaning the shop out. It's all nice and clean, and we've got a collection of new parts that are going on the Mustang. The pieces of the turbo kit, some ARP head studs, fuel pump, fuel filter, MAF, new seats, head gaskets, of course the intake manifold and the new cam. And got stuff just cleaned up and ready to pull the car in here because it's time to start working on the turbo build at last. So here we go. Alright, so I got the car all jacked up. Plenty of ground clearance because I'm going to have to get under it and do some exhaust things while I'm working on this, but it's going to stay on jack stands pretty much until the kit's completely on. So I'm going to start by taking the hood off, probably get under it and take the exhaust off, and the rear bumper I'm going to take off too because I wanted to work on some stuff back here. So yeah, just start taking all that stuff off and see how much time we've got in the rest of the day. Alright, so it's going really well so far. Got the hood off, front bumper off, and splitter, and the crash bumper, so I've got plenty of room to work up here. And then the back of the car, once I got it jacked up, was so close to where the door closes, I went ahead and took the rear bumper and the rear crash bumper off so I could close the door. But it's okay because I wanted to do some different stuff with the rear of the car this year, so maybe I'll work on that while the car's up on jack stands. Do you mind? Stop. No. No. Anyways, so yeah, the car's all jacked up, and now I'm just looking at what pieces I got, look at what I need to still get, putting everything together, and thinking about what I need to take off. So now I'm just looking at what needs to come out. Obviously the radiator and the shroud and the clutch fan are coming out because I'm putting an electric fan and a bigger radiator in it. The alternator is new, but it's probably going to need to get relocated, and I'm going to delete the smog pump, so some of that stuff's going to come off. And obviously the air box, the stock mass air, and of course the intake manifold are coming off. And the heads, because I got new heads coming. The heads should be done at the machine shop this week. That's what the guy said anyways. And then I just got these new injectors in the mail, 42-pound Bosch injectors. And most of the other pieces I've got here, the cam, and the new intake, I need to clean that up. And seats to put in at some point, and of course the whole turbo kit. One thing that I do still need to order is a clutch. I'm going to go with a center force dual friction as recommended by most people online that are in this kit. So I need to order that, but that should be the last big thing. There's going to be little pieces from there and putting it all together and then getting it tuned. As I'm taking this thing apart, I'm organizing all the bolts in these little baggies. Sadly my Sharpie died and I'm having to use a pen, but it's good enough, you can see it. And I'm keeping all these things organized and keeping them in a certain spot, because if you don't do this, I guarantee you will have trouble later. There's just way too many bolts when you're taking a car apart this much. You know, I haven't even started really taking the engine apart, so there's going to be way more. Yeah, just keep it organized. Take a minute, put bolts in a bag, label it, and it'll save you so much time and headache later. So yeah, do that. Okay, so got some more progress done on the Mustang tonight. So I got the top part, the intake manifold, which is that, and the EGR spacer and the throttle body and all that kind of stuff off. So that's where I'm going to stop for the night, because to get the bottom part of it off, you have to move the fuel rails and the injectors and some wiring, and also the distributor, it looks like. And I wasn't emotionally prepared for that. So this is where it's going to sit for tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to come back out and, like I said, take off the distributor, and then the wiring, injectors, fuel rails, not in that order obviously, and then the bottom half of the intake manifold can come off, And of course, those are going bye-bye because this new one's gonna go on, and I need to obviously get this cleaned up. Probably gonna paint it before I throw it in there so that it looks nice. And obviously I'm not gonna throw it on yet though, because I'm putting new heads on there, which should be done at the machine shop tomorrow, so I can go grab them and start putting this thing back together. Radiator and stuff are already out because I'm putting a new radiator in. I need to take out the camshaft because I'm putting a new F-series cam in the car. So to do that, basically everything needs to be gone out of the front, because you have to pull the cam straight out like this, and there's no way that you can do it without taking the engine out unless you take everything off the front. So we'll get that off, and that'll give me access to do the cam. So yeah, overall it's going pretty good, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, so gonna keep up the good work. Okay, so got some good progress done. Got a bunch of wires and stuff labeled. Got all of the injectors out and the spark plugs as well. So we're getting pretty close to being able to pull the headers off. I need to pull the exhaust off the bottom first, so I'm getting there. I wanted to get the lower intake manifold off this morning, but sadly I hit a snag where I need a special tool to unhook these fuel lines, and I'm gonna have to go buy it. Not that upset about it though, because that's also what's keeping me from getting the oil cooler out. It has the same kind of push fittings, I guess you would say. Anyways though, once I get that out, the fuel rail can come completely out, and then I'll have complete access to the bolts. I also got the distributor and all the wires, spark plug wires, out of the way too, so making a lot of progress. Feel good about it. Pretty soon I'll have everything torn down and ready to put back together, so pretty happy with this so far. Okay, so it's the following evening and I've gotten a lot of stuff done. I got the lower part of the intake manifold and all the pieces on top of it off. So the upper harness, of course the lower manifold, and these coolant rails that go with it. And then the fuel rails over here. And those quick connects are terrible. I hope none of you ever have to deal with them, but you probably will. But if you do, just get this tool right here and watch a video of somebody using it, and it's really not that bad. It just, yeah, you know, once you know how to do it and have the right tool, it's really not that bad. So don't try to do it with a screwdriver. Just spend 10 bucks and get some of those. But yeah, anyways, we've got that off. So I'm gonna put some rags in these holes here, and need to take a vacuum and clean everything up. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to put the new lower manifold on first, or if I want to change the heads out first. The heads are done at the machine shop, by the way, so I'm going to get those tomorrow. So yeah, just trying to figure out what order would be easiest to do things in. I don't think having the lower manifold on will make the heads any more difficult to pull, but yeah, I'm going to do some looking at it and thinking about it and get it figured out. But either way, I'm making good progress and I'm happy with how it's going. So unfortunately, there is one piece of bad news. I stripped this bolt right here, sadly, but I think as many other bolts as there are, I think I can do without running that one, hopefully. So I'm going to try that, see how snug I'm able to get everything. I think it'll be okay, because I really don't see myself being able to pull that. There's just not enough of a nub left to really get that out, and I don't think it's dreadfully important. So I'm going to run extra RTV over there and tighten all these other bolts snug, and I think that should be all right. So not too upset about it. Like I said, making good progress. I'm happy. Okay, so after sleeping on it and doing a lot of research, I've come up with a much better plan. When I first took the lower intake manifold off, this is really my first time doing anything like this on a 302 car. I didn't really know what I was looking at, so now that I've done some research and slept on it, like I said, I've got a much better plan. So obviously the heads are gonna have to come off. So this broken bolt in here doesn't even matter. Like, these are just the junk E7 heads that came on this. Nobody's gonna want them. They're just gonna go to the scrapyard, so that's not a problem at all. So my plan from here on out is, since I've got this open, I'm putting new heads on anyways, and I've got this open, I'm gonna be replacing the lifters and the push rods. So obviously the heads are gonna come off, and at that point I'm just going to replace everything one at a time, and then put everything back on up to the lower intake manifold, and then just put that'll leave me plenty of room to put the turbo pieces on and stuff like that. So that's going to be the plan. So for now I'm working towards getting the heads off, and the manifold is off, so I just need to get the exhaust manifolds off on both sides. And before I can do that, I need to get the actual exhaust off. So I've started unbolting it. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and yank the whole exhaust off, and then thank you. Do you mind? I'm going to yank the whole exhaust off and then see if I can get the headers off. So that's the plan.